You had thought all was lost. However, there he is, all of a sudden, standing there, sweeping you in his arms, kissing you, and telling you how much he loves you and what a fool he's been. You close the book happily, ecstatic that your one true love came back for you. That was the perfect ending to your romance novel. And you're sitting there swooning afterwards. I love romance novels. All women do for the most part. But if you're not careful, they could also be harmful for your emotional and mental well-being. There's 3 specific reasons I say this. The behavior of the women in novels affects us. Romance novels set ridiculous and unbelievable standards for men. And if we don't approach romance novels as fictional, they will create mental blocks for us. First, every woman loves a romance. I do. But we all get swept away in the story and the romance of it. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but we, as women, may try to, create the scenarios of these fictional stories and make them into our lives. A lot of it's thinking we need to behave like the woman in the book, because obviously she found the right guy. However, this isn't a good idea. I know I've thought that way, but usually these women in these books are extremely insecure, and, they end up being completely dependent and needing the man. It's the 21st century. Women, we are strong. We don't have to have a man by our side. Yes, it's nice. But remember, you're strong and you can be independent. You don't have to have the love of a man. As Jane Austen said in Pride and Prejudice, we're all fools in love. Yes, that's true. We're all hopeless romantics and we desire love. But we don't have to have the love of a man. We can find happiness within ourselves. Second, the bar for men is raised to unbelievable heights. Women look for that perfect man with 0 flaws, a chiseled jaw and body, extremely masculine features. But women, they don't understand why their man can't be more like the man in the book. And the men in reality have no clue what is expected of them because they don't even read the books. Like, we expect them to say all the right things and speak beautifully, and like they need us desperately. As in Edward from Stephenie Meyer's New Moon, he tells Bella, "When I told you I didn't want you, it was the blackest kind of blasphemy." Men don't talk like that. They're more simplistic, more straightforward, and a lot of times don't even share their feelings like that. So ladies, lighten up on the guys. They don't know what we want, and they're not going to be perfect. These men in these books are well planned out. Very well planned out. And usually these words are coming out of women's mouths. The author's mouth. Not really a man. And thirdly, if we don't approach these with caution, and just read them as fiction for fun, we will create within ourselves a mental block. If we can't find that perfect man, the one, the one, we'll just sit around and wait for, the perfect one and swooning over the ones in the books. We'd rather have that perfect whirlwind romance than that of an imperfect relationship where we could find tons of happiness. As Isaac Disraeli very well said, romance has been elegantly defined as the offspring of fiction and love. Love is great. And that has a lot to do with romance. It has everything to do with romance. But he is right. Romance is really kind of based off of fiction. We base it off of the extravagant things in the books, that all of a sudden him coming for you. It doesn't happen like that. True romance is more simplistic. It's more sincere. You shouldn't even have to wait that long when you think all is lost for him to come running after you in true romance. It's a phone call asking how are you doing and saying he misses you. A single rose left for you on the countertop. Those kind of things. Not like the ones in these books. Like the popular silhouettes and the harlequins. It's real. In conclusion, all women are hopeless romantics. That's a given. I know I am. But we need to remember when we're reading these fictional romance novels, they are fiction. And they're not real. Romance novels, they're really great. I think they're a wonderful work of art and a great way to kick back and just relax and enjoy it. But if we are not careful and approach it correctly, they will have negative effects on our mental and emotional well-being when you know it's affected by the main character's behaviors. We want to behave like them, think we need to be more weak and feminine. By raising the bar for men, to unachievable heights. And by creating mental blocks within ourselves where we'll deny love because it's not packaged as pretty as it is in the novels. So to all the ladies out there, I love romance novels too. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying don't read them. But I implore you to keep in mind that they're fiction. They're not real life. Happiness and love is out there for you. It just won't be as perfect as a novel. But that imperfection is what makes the love true. I promise you, it would be 10 times better than in those novels if you just, keep in mind it's not going to be perfect like those novels. So for your well-being and, so you don't deny yourself happiness or really true love, approach novels, these romance novels, as fiction as they are. Well, I hope you enjoyed and, keep that in mind. Bye.